Hi, Jess. My name is Zach. I am Kristin's friend, and she has asked me to do a card reading for you. And so I am planning on doing a reading for you that incorporates some oracle cards as well as tarot. Um, she's also shared with me your astrology chart and your human design chart just so that I could have just a bit of a deeper connection with you. Obviously, I don't know you, I've never met you, so this is just a way for me to see you from afar and to see you from the energetic and soul level. I don't know if you've ever had a card reading done before. Kristin has shared just a little bit with me about you, that you're kind of knowledgeable on some things, but maybe not have dived really deep into it. So just so that you understand kind of how this works, I use cards as a way of just connecting deeper with the soul, connecting with God, with spirit, with the universe. To me, cards are a tool to help us just find our authenticity, to find who we truly are, so that we can live a life that is more authentic to ourselves. And so when I do card readings for other people, I typically start with asking simple questions of the universe to guide the reading. And obviously, having your astrology and human design chart, I'll try to also kind of mix in some of that information to just to tailor this reading specifically for you. The way cards work, the way energy works, is energy is very fluid. So something may not be 100% concrete, something may not be exactly what I'm saying, but hopefully you can feel the energy of it. And even if the words that I say maybe don't fully match up with what you're feeling or thinking, hopefully it will at least guide you towards receiving a message that will be helpful in some way. So I hope that you receive something from this. Ultimately, these cards are meant for healing, they're meant for guidance, they're meant for encouragement, and ultimately just to help you see a little bit more clearly, depending on whatever you're going through in life right now or what you might go through in the future. You know, you'll have this reading. Hopefully you can listen to it a couple of different times and come back to it whenever you need to. Sometimes energy that is displayed in cards isn't for this exact moment in time. Maybe it's for the future, or maybe it's reading into a little bit of your past. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so here are the cards I'm going to be using, and I've cleansed the space. Ultimately, I use Palo Santo as a very healing incense that transmutes negative energy into positive energy, and it just helps create a space that is open to communicate what is ready to be heard, what is ready to be communicated. So we have here a few decks that are oracle cards, and then we have a deck for tarot that are kind of like the clarifying cards. So let's dive into this. Okay, so I shuffled the cards, and I'm just going to start with a simple question. Who is Jess? Not just the physical incarnation, human being that is Jess, but who is Jess on an energetic level? Who is she at her core? Who is this woman out on the East Coast named Jess? Sometimes cards come flying out whenever they want to be seen. Jess, you are someone who has a lot of a very intuitive woman. You're someone who has natural divine communication with spirit, with the universe. You receive downloads that you may not even be fully sure or know what to do with. You're also someone who likes to investigate things, likes to have a plan, likes to kind of get everything in order, but in order to have freedom to explore, freedom to dive deeper into your intuition and into your psyche. You're also someone who has a lot of passion, someone who likes to experience life. You have a beautiful, beautiful soul that is very bright, very energetic. You can also kind of be very internal, but ultimately you want to be internal and you want to be to yourself sometimes because you just want to be clear on who you are. There might be a little hesitation to shine your light. There might be maybe just a lack of confidence in being able to be yourself. But what this is telling me is that you have a natural light. You have a natural just aura about you that is very magnetic and very powerful. And what these cards are trying to say is you don't need to be afraid of it because it comes from the divine. It's natural for you to be intuitive. It's natural for you to connect with the unknown and to explore and have the freedom to kind of dive deep into what it is that brings up this excitement in you. Yeah, again, the path that you want to explore or the knowledge that you want to kind of dive into, it's already within you. This is a card that is very much about connecting to spirit, connecting to the universe. Goes hand in hand with this card. So these cards are all about intuition and knowing the way intuitively within yourself. You don't need anyone else to tell you how it is. You just know. Yeah, again, there's that fire, there's that passion. Yeah, here's the fear. So there's some fear surrounding your fire and your passion. There's some fear around being seen. There's fear around being able to completely surrender to the knowledge that is within you. But deep down inside and over the course of your lifetime, Kristin has told me that you're 40 years old, so you have spent these first 40 years in life kind of preparing yourself, preparing your soul to be seen. So the 8 of Pentacles is, the number 8 is all about karma. It's all about safety, structure, like just the things that you've been slowly working on over time finally coming to fruition. And I think that's what your soul is now wanting to explore, wanting to feel is, you spent the first 40 years of your life in one cycle. And for a lot of people, that is, half of their life. You've gathered all of these things. This is like collecting like a plan. It is collecting information. It's collecting the tools to finally allow yourself to express, to celebrate, to dance. This is a card of action. It's a card of celebration. It's a card of self-expression. It is a card that says, I am free to be my passionate, fiery, adventurous self. There's nothing wrong with that. But this one is a card that's like a little bit sneakier. It's one that says, I'm not totally sure if I'm allowed to use my voice, if I'm allowed to express what it is that I need and what I want. So I kind of have to tiptoe around other people's feelings and other people's opinions. I'm not fully ready to be seen. I'm not fully ready to be illuminated yet, but I'm gaining courage. I'm starting to listen to myself. I'm starting to see the path within, because there is something out there, there's something within me that is coming to me that's saying it's time to step out. I've gained everything that I need for this cycle of my life, and it's time to allow myself to be seen. It's time to shine. It's time to express exactly who I am. And this goes hand in hand with even your astrology and with your human design. So in human design, you are a generator. You have energy, you have passion, you have desire, and you're meant to go after what it is that lights you up, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel successful. And when it comes to astrology, your sun sign is Scorpio, which is all about investigating, deep connection, diving deep, figuring things out, learning something new, but also being kind of keeping your cards close to your chest. And as your moon sign is Cancer, Cancer is all about kind of being a little bit of a homebody. So that's where some of that fear might come in, where it's like, I want to express myself, I want to shine, but I also kind of just want to be cozy and comfortable at home and take care of my kids and take care of the needs of the home. And so that's where this Eight of Pentacles is very much a Cancer energy of like, I want to make sure that food is cooked and on the table. I want to make sure that the house is clean. All of that needs to be in order for me to have the freedom to then play, to dance, to express. But as an Aries rising, so your rising sign is who you are on the outside, how other people see you. It's the first impression that others have of you. Aries is fiery, it's passionate, it is adventurous, it is a little bit impulsive. And so that's where this fire comes in. It's like you want to have some adventure. You want to have impulsivity. Not everything needs to be in order. Not everything needs to be organized and in perfect timing. Sometimes you just need to go after something. And ultimately, as a generator, you are meant to follow those impulses. Whenever something feels right, when it's like, oh, I really want to buy those pair of shoes, those would make me so happy, or I want to go for a walk, or whatever it is, that initial impulse that comes up that is like, ooh, that would feel good. No matter how small it is, go after it. Just allow yourself the freedom and the permission to do that one little thing that feels good and see where that leads next. Okay, so that's just a little message on just the beginning energy of who Jess is. Now let's find out a little bit about your past, because in order to be fully present in your current state and who you are right now as an adult, as a 40-year-old woman, sometimes we need to dive into our childhood a little bit. So I'm going to use this oracle deck. It's called the Inner Child Oracle Guidebook. And I like to use this sometimes to just to revisit what it is that the inner child, that little girl within you wants to express. Because as you know, when we're children, obviously having children, you know, I have 5 kids myself, so I understand, like, there's a lot of play, there's a lot of imagination, there's a lot of things in children that eventually they grow out of, but ultimately it's still within us, it's still within our psyche. And sometimes we need to revisit that energy to allow clarity for who we are now. So I just ask for a card for Jess, for little girl Jess, when she was 6 years old, 7 years old. What was it about her that made her who she is today? What is it that she needs to revisit right now to allow her to have the confidence to be 100% herself? Practice freedom. Release the weight of judgment. So this is very much in line with those 2 cards I showed you, the Sun and the 4 of Wands, which is fire and passion. So in human design, you have profiles, a profile number, which is called, you're a 3-5 profile. And the 3-5 energy is all about freedom. It is all about adventuring and being able to experience life in order to learn through your experiences. So here you see the eagle flying into the cosmos. You have the rainbow. The rainbow is a symbol of unconditional love, unity, beauty. It embodies all the energies of spirit. And as you can see here, the cosmos, that is the symbol of infinity. And when we're kids, when we're children, we want to be free. We want to explore. We want to go out into the world and just see what it's all about, because that's how we learn as children. And as we grow older, a lot of times we are put into a box. We're put into restrictions, whether it's conditioning through religion, whether it's conditioning through our parents' beliefs, our parents' rules and restrictions. We have to start kind of reining in our childlike freedom. And what this is saying right now, so what it is that you felt as a 5, 6, 7-year-old, you want to continue feeling that. And you need to release the weight of judgment around that feeling. So I'm just going to read to you from the book. So Oracle decks always come with a little guidebook that helps explain this. So I'll just read it to you. Practice freedom. Judgments that we or others have placed upon ourselves can shackle us, stealing our joy and will to fully embody our life. It is a heavy burden to carry the weight of judgment, and it can keep us trapped in a cycle of fear and blame. If you have pulled this card, it might be time to consider whether you are being held prisoner by judgments. Exercise for today. Take some time today to reflect on the beliefs that you hold about yourself or your inner child. Write down as many core beliefs as you can, and then review your statements for signs and patterns of judgmental beliefs. A good way to do this is to speak these statements out loud, and then focus on the feelings and sensations you experience afterward. On a separate page, write down all of the statements that did not leave you feeling empowered and hopeful. Now is the time to dig a little deeper. Where did these beliefs come from? Why do you believe this is true about yourself or your inner child? If you release these beliefs, are you afraid of something might happening or something that might happen? Are parts of your identity built around these beliefs? Answering these questions can help you understand where these judgmental beliefs came from and why they might have been hesitant to go. Now is the time to counter them. Write down the opposite statements to these judgmental beliefs. Say them aloud and see how you feel. Do you feel empowered, hopeful, or full? If so, then there is truth here that needs to be spoken. So let's pull some cards, some clarifying cards around this practice of freedom and releasing of judgment. What is the message for Jess surrounding just the energy of freedom? So the Ace of Wands is all about new inspiration, new desires, new just feelings of excitement and passion kind of burning within you. It's something that comes from out of nowhere, from the divine, from just something that triggers a spark within you. The Two of Wands is all about choices and decisions. You have a choice. And the Two of Pentacles is also about choice. So twos are options. They are also about balance. And so what this feels like is that you have been given a choice in your life. Maybe, when you were younger as a child or a younger adult, maybe you made a choice that you feel has maybe put you into a cage. So you can see this woman here, it's like a feeling of longing. The Two of Wands is all about wanting to go out on an adventure, wanting to travel, wanting to experience something new. The Ace is the first card in the Wands, and the Two is the next card. So it's like you had this spark of passion and desire, and you were forced to make a choice. In life, there are no wrong choices. There are just decisions that we make that ultimately lead to one path or another. And that path has led you down a road now that you're kind of weighing or feeling into. Pentacles are all about the physical realm, the tangible, whether it's money, houses, finances, clothing. It's like the things that you can touch, the things that you can feel, the things that make life tick. And so maybe this was a choice that you made when you were younger that led to where you are now. But what's burning inside you right now is maybe something new. It's the desire for something new. You're feeling that where you are right now is possibly feeling restrictive. It's feeling like the window and the door is closed and you want to go through it. You want to see what's on the other side of that window. And when you were younger, sometimes you didn't always have that freedom. Maybe your parents didn't let you explore. Maybe your parents didn't take you on trips or let you travel. And now you do. Now you want to experience the things that you missed out on. And as a 3-5, you're your profile lines in human design, the 3-5 has to experience life to know whether or not something is for you. It's like the 3-5 is the classic like toddler that has to touch the hot pan to learn that it's hot. Your parents could tell you, or someone could tell you until they're blue in the face, that pan is hot, don't touch it. But as a 3-5, you're gonna touch it. You're gonna feel that it's hot, and then you're gonna learn, okay, yeah, I experienced that. Now I've learned the wisdom behind not touching a hot pan, and now I'm gonna use that wisdom to teach others, to bring them the awareness that I learned through experimentation. That is the role of a 3-5. You know, other people in the world, maybe you're too afraid to learn and experience something, so they rely on people like yourself who are 3-5s who have experienced it to learn their wisdom and say, hey, is that pan hot? Should I touch it? And you say, no, I tried it once and it burned me and it hurt, so I don't recommend it. And then that gives those people the choice to either touch it or not to touch it. And that's a simple analogy, but you can put it into play in so many different areas of life, whether it's going on a trip somewhere, going to visit another country, buying a certain type of vehicle, whether or not certain clothes look good on you. Like just there's so many different realms that this can correlate to. But I hope you kind of get the gist of it. As a 3-5, you need to follow these sparks. They could be really small. It could be something as simple as a new hobby. It could be something as simple as a new haircut, you know, trying different makeup, trying a new genre of music. You need to listen, you need to feel, you need to sense, you need to experience it in order to know whether or not you like it. Because what's most important here is yourself. You know, I totally get that as a mother, your first instincts are always going to be, what can I do for the kids? What is best for the kids? And that's a challenging place to be in as a mother, because especially as, you know, you get older and maybe you want to start taking, you know, different care of yourself. Maybe you want to start taking a yoga class. Maybe you want to enter into, you know, a baking class, or you want to do something for yourself because you have put so much energy into your children that now it's time for some self-care. Now it's time to take care of Jess. But you spent so many years being a mother of suppressing that because of judgment, because of shame, because of society or your husband or friends or pastors or whoever it is that you consider like prominent members of your life. Because of their opinions, you know, maybe you wanted, you know, to travel somewhere and experience a vacation by yourself, and maybe your family were like, how dare you, you know, you should take your children with you, or why don't you go with your husband, or why are you so selfish? You know, that is the number one judgment that 3-5s receive, is that they are selfish. And obviously life requires balance. Life requires to have a good balance of play, fun, work, responsibility, especially once we have children. Like, that is one of the most karmically challenging decisions to make as a human being, is to have children, because it can feel restrictive. It can feel challenging, because now you are taking care of others and you can't just always go out and do what you want. But what these cards are calling for is to revisit that childlike energy and know that it's okay to want freedom. It's okay to practice freedom. It's just all about balance. And obviously, I don't know all the details of your life. I don't know what a day-to-day looks like for you. But I know that as a mother, that involves making sure your children are fed, making sure they're clothed, making sure they're,
either, off to school, or if you homeschool, you got to teach them. Like, there's just so many different things. But what's really important is to come back to taking care of yourself, practicing freedom, and saying, okay, once I have the kids ready for the day, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to go take that yoga class. I'm going to go for a walk with my best friend. I'm going to spend an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours on whatever this new hobby is that I want to be involved in. And that comes with some resistance. I know how it is. Whenever you live a certain way for so long, people get used to the Jess that has been the last 40 years. Especially in marriage, your husband is going to be used to how his wife has been for the last however many years you've been married, or same thing with parents, family members. They're going to be like, this Jess is who I know, and this is how she has always been. And as soon as you step outside of that realm, they're going to be like, whoa, who is this person? Who is this new Jess? And why is she doing this? What's going on? It's going to come with some confusion, but the whole point is to release the weight of judgment. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone needs to know the intimate details of what's going on inside you. As a Scorpio sun with a Cancer moon, you have big emotions. You have a lot going on inside you that a lot of people will never know. Because that is, those are two water signs that are big parts of your birth chart, that are big energies. You're going to feel deeply. You're going to keep a lot of it in. And so a lot of people probably don't know the true, authentic, completely real version of Jess. And as you start to step into that and embody that, and you decide to open this window and go explore, you're going to have people ask questions. You're going to have, intimate partners or family members who know you really well and know you the best. They're going to be like, what's going on? And that's where it's just really important to release the weight of judgment, but also to speak clearly and to just let people know, like, hey, this is who I am, and I'm okay with that, and that is okay. I want to experience something different. I want to go try a new class. I want to take care of myself, and that's okay. And then it's a matter of finding balance. Obviously, if you go completely in one direction and you ignore the kids or ignore family members, like, that's going to have repercussions. It's going to have hurt feelings and all of that. But it's no different than you completely giving up on yourself and forgetting yourself, and putting all your energy into everyone else. That is going to drain you. That is going to exhaust you. And ultimately, it's going to lead to a very unfulfilling life. So what's important is to find balance and do what brings you joy. I'm sure that taking care of your children brings you joy to an extent. We can only fold laundry for so long, right? You can only cook for so long until you're finally just like, I am done. I am fed up with this. Wash your own damn clothes. Someone else cook for a change. And that's where balance comes into play. You have, so in your human design chart, you have what's called a defined heart center. It's, you know who you are. You know who you want to be. And just like this says, you need to release the weight of judgment. You need to be yourself and not worry about what other people think. Let's pull a couple more cards just on this topic, and then we'll move on to the next. So in reference to using your voice and following your passion, yeah, Star is all about authenticity. Knight of Pentacles, going after what you want, continuing to plant the seeds of desire. Eight of Wands, fast moving energy. It is, yeah. Knight of Pentacles is, you've been on a path. The seeds of who you are have been planted, and they're just waiting to sprout. They're waiting to come to life. You have everything you need. So now go forth and be yourself. Shine like the star that you are. You are absolutely guided by your soul. You're guided by what it is inside you that makes you exactly who you are. So go after it. Go after it with confidence. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be scary at times. But it's going to lead you to deeper healing. It's going to lead you to heal that 6, 7, 8-year-old Jess who wasn't able to explore, who didn't feel free. Notice all the 8s that have been coming out. So numerology, 2 plus 6 is 8. You have the 8 of Wands. Earlier you had the 8 of Pentacles. Here, 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 is all about karma. 8 is all about cycles coming back around. So what that tells me is that right now you're at a time where it's past energies are coming back around. If you believe in past lives, that's very much where karma comes from. Like the things that you did and who you were in a past life, they don't just affect your current life. They come back around in future lives. And so right now, I think you're being shown that there is good out there for you. There is experiences, there is joy, there is passion available to you, and it's being offered to you right now. That's also very much the energy of the Star and the Ace of Wands. You can even see it's the same color as the purple. It is the connection to spirit, connection to the universe. The universe is guiding you right now through these cards, through your own intuition. If this is unlocking anything within you right now, it is meant to be heard. It is meant to be listened to. Because you deserve it. Because you have done the work. You've done the work. You've planted the fields. You've prepared dinner. You have built a life. And you deserve to go out and experience life. You deserve freedom. Now we're going to pull from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. I use this deck a lot for whenever there's things deep inside that need healing, or that maybe is kind of hidden, that just not totally sure where it's coming from. So right now, your soul is speaking to you. That's the number 8, the energy of karma. That is always from the soul, from deep within. So let's see where it's coming from. What does Jess's soul want her to know right now? What kind of karma is being revealed to Jess right now? As a Scorpio sun, you are meant to go deeper. There is more to Jess than just the surface. And Scorpios are here to unearth the nitty-gritty, the deep roots, to help get to the source. So what is the source of this time that Jess is in right now? The mystical shaman. Why don't you just kind of take a look at that for a minute? And then I'll read to you what it says. So the mystical shaman is all about connection to spirit, connection to the earth, connection to nature. Shamans are known as healers. They're known as people who have a connection to the earth like no one else, ultimately to help guide people to deep knowing and deep healing. So shaman doesn't heal you. A shaman shows you the path to heal yourself. So the essence of the mystical shaman. This is the symbol of the mythmaker and storyteller who is neither made of nor defined by the story. Instead, he observes it, evolves through it, perceives all aspects of it. In so doing, the mystical shaman represents the ability to dream a new story, a new myth into being. He dances between worlds, wearing the cloak of the world loosely around his shoulders, and sings the world into being. He reminds us to be in the world and travel through it, but not to be defined by it or become too attached to the experience. This is the symbol of true alchemy, for all elements of life have a spiritual aspect and a material one. When we remember this, all manner of miracles and manifestations are possible. So in human design, you are a generator, which is also known as an alchemist. And just as it talks about balancing the spirit realm with the earthly realm, that is the Two of Pentacles card that we pulled earlier. It's about balancing and knowing what cycle of life you're in right now and how to balance what it is that your soul is calling for you to do and to balance what it is that's present in your present physical reality right now. So the invitation of this card: when the mystical shaman appears, you're invited to consider the ability to live without attachment. You are called to create and dream your life, to act on inspiration and divine impulse without fixating on a known story of success or achievement. Can you impartially observe the stories you tell yourself and others? What if you could become a mystery to yourself? Who would you become if you stopped telling the tales that have defined you up until now? You do not have to live in a story that has roots in the past. What if there was no need to explain you to anyone, not even to yourself? The way to your most extraordinary life is to become a blank slate and allow the form of your dreams and desires to show up as it will. This is a sign of manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. So that's very much in line with what we've been talking about. It's, you don't have to explain yourself to anyone if you don't want to. You know how you feel. You know what you want. The answers are within you. It's all about tapping into the energy of the mystical shaman and seeing that you are the magician. You are mystical. You have the knowing. That is very much Scorpio energy. Scorpios just know things. They can't explain it all the time, but you just know. You can walk into a room and you can feel the energy and you just know. Just a couple cards to clarify this mystical shaman energy. Yeah. So the Hanged Man, it's all about seeing things from a different perspective. It's when you take a look, it's like looking at a puzzle. Sometimes you need to look at it from a different angle to find the missing piece. And whenever you surrender and you allow yourself to hang upside down, you surrender to the will of the universe will then guide you and show you everything that you need. You are powerful. You are in control of your own destiny. You are in control of your own life. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. So this is also the Aries card, so you can see the ram there. Aries rising. You are in control. And ultimately, you have the choice to live a life that is ultimate fulfillment. You have the choice to be happy. You have the choice to live in a quote-unquote hell on earth if you want to. If you want to be miserable, that's up to you. If you want to be happy and joyful, you have the power and the ability to make change. The mystical shaman is a storyteller. You have the ability to write your own story. And there's no time like right now. Every moment counts, every day counts. However you want to live it, go after it. And whoever wants to be part of that story will stay. Whoever cannot handle the new version of you that is authentic, that is pure, that is beautiful, then they can just walk right out of your life. They don't deserve you. They don't deserve to see the best version of you if they can't handle all of you. That is a big energy for, especially as we, I'm about to be 43 years old, and I totally get it. We hit our 40s, and it's kind of like, okay, it's like the psychologist Carl Jung made the statement, life begins at 40. Everything else before was just research. You're at a point now where you've done the research, you've experienced life as a 3-5, and you know what you want and you know what you don't want. So now is the time to start creating the life that you want. There's still so much time left in life to be lived fully, to be lived beautifully, to be lived with passion. I'm going to go to the final message now, which is just the steps moving forward from here with this information. We're going to use the Keepers of the Light Oracle. I love this deck because it's basically a message from your spirit guides. And so I asked the question, what does Jess need to do now? What does she do with this information? What does this reading mean for her future? And what is it that she wants out of life right now? And how does she go forward with confidence? What message do her spirit guides want her to know? I'm going to pull 2 cards from this deck. One will be for your masculine side, one will be for your feminine side, because we all have both energies within us. So for your feminine guide, Diana. And your masculine guide, Lord Ganesh. So your feminine guide is asking you to think about what you desire. Set your sights high and expect the best possible outcome. It's all about focused intention. You don't know what direction to go until you actually know what you want. And then the masculine side is letting you know that there is infinite abundance available to you. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. I'll just pull a couple cards for a little message to go along with these two. Focused intention leads to infinite abundance. What is the final message for Jess? So the Five of Wands carries with it a tinge of chaos. It's energy, but it's also change. Number 5 is the number of change. In order to make change, there needs to be action. But without intention, without focused intention, it can lead to chaos. And so that's why it's important to take the time to really contemplate, to really think on what it is that you want. What kind of life do you want to experience? What kind of life do you want to live? Who do you want to be in the next 40 years of your life? Ultimately, the goal is to live from the heart, to passionately be yourself, wear your heart on your sleeve, or shall I say, take off the mask that has been the first 40 years of Jess and reveal the true, authentic Jess. Because who that is perfect, is beautiful. So you are, I just want to correct what I said earlier about your profile. So you're not a 3-5, you're a 3-6, which the 3-6, the 6 carries the energy of 3 twice. So that means you have like a third line energy tripled, because a 3-6 is like a 3-3-3, which is all about experiencing life, going out and doing the things that you want to do, being who you want to be. And in human design, your authority is a sacral authority. That means the decisions that you make, especially the big decisions, are those that come to you and it's your first initial gut instinct and reaction. So if someone asks you a question like, do you want to go on a vacation to Mexico? If your initial instinct is, oh, yes, I want to do that, then that means that's what's meant for you. It may not mean that the trip to Mexico is what is exactly for you, but the energy of travel, the energy of vacation, the energy of feeling something new, that is what is meant for you. So then you have decisions to make. And that's why it's important to be very intentional and focused on what it is that you want. Not just experiences, not just, the physical comforts in life, but who you want to be on the inside, who you are mentally, who you are emotionally. Are you allowing yourself to be completely the most authentic Jess that was born? Are you being the 6 and 7-year-old Jess now, or are you the conditioned adult Jess who was told that you were too much, who was told that you can't have an imagination, you can't be creative, you have to follow certain rules, you have to get married, you have to have children, you have to be a homemaker? Is that who you are? Is that who you want to be for the rest of your life? And once you make that decision, once you find clarity on who you are, this won't feel like chaos. This will feel like achieving your goals. This will feel like going after what it is that you truly want. And that leads to ultimately deeper love, mostly love for yourself, acceptance for who you are. And when you live from the heart, so the heart in human design and through the learning of the chakra system, the heart is known as like the manifestation zone. It is the magnet. It is what ultimately draws to you everything that you desire when you live from the heart. When your heart center is activated, it is the most powerful energy there is, because that is who you are. And when you live from the heart, you will receive infinite abundance. That doesn't mean you'll be rich. It doesn't mean you're winning the lottery. It just means that you will have everything that brings you joy, which needs to come from within. So this energy is showing you that obstacles will be removed. Spirit is supporting you right now. And just like we started the reading off with who you are, with that Empress energy and the Ace energy, you have connection to spirit. As a Scorpio, you have and a Cancer moon, you have the ability to be extremely psychic. You just know things. That is spirit. That is the universe. So surrender to that. The more you surrender to those feelings and don't feel shame about it. I know, I think Kristin had shared a little bit that you kind of had a similar background to her and to me, being raised in the church and all of that. That comes with so much shame, and we're told that, magic, we're told that psychic abilities, all those things are of the devil, and they're not. It is God. It is the divine. It is completely natural. They are your gifts. Let's do 2 more cards just as a closing message. What is the final message for Jess to support her on her journey right now? Yeah. There it is again. So you are on a journey. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, you have the ability to go after what you want. It doesn't need to be chaos. You can work with others. You can work with yourself. You can take this path and just know that it's going to lead exactly where you want to be. And right now the focus is to, just like the inner child healing card said, kind of revisit the time in your life that you were the happiest. Revisit the time when you were a child and you connected with play, you connected with creativity, and know that that is your authentic self. That is who you are. So in closing, as a Scorpio, you want to know why it is that you feel the way you do. You want to know why it is that life happens the way it does. You want to know kind of what is the point. You want to investigate these things. And as an Aries rising, you want to get out there and do it. You want to experience it. And we didn't talk about your Venus sign, but your Venus is your ultimately how you connect with others. It is how you love, how you want to be loved. It is how you attract money. It is the energy of just collaboration and unity. And your sign is in Libra, Venus in Libra. And Libra is all about balance. Libra is about beauty, abundance, beautiful aesthetics. That is the kind of life that you want to live. Those are the connections that you want. And so as you connect with your inner child, as you connect with the past versions of yourself, just as that card said, maybe write down the things that you loved, the things that helped you to be your most authentic self, and then write down the things that shamed you, that made you feel like you weren't allowed to be who you are, and start filtering through and eliminating the things that make you feel less than, and put extra attention on the things that make you feel more like yourself and more able to be authentic. As a 3-6, ultimately you have experienced a lot and you want to continue experiencing, but you're at the point now where you want to develop a foundation for your new life, for your new identity, the new version of you. And the more you embody that, the more you're going to start magnetizing people to come to you and ask you, like, how are you so free? How are you so full of joy? How are you so magnetic? I want to know how you got to that point. It's a big part of your life purpose is to embody freedom, to embody your spiritual gifts, and to ultimately live a life that is pleasurable, a life that is fun and adventurous. And you're not meant to be in a cage. So allow yourself to be happy. Whatever that means to you, whatever that takes, you deserve happiness. You deserve joy. You deserve to do the things and experience the things that bring you ultimate satisfaction. If there's things in your life that are causing frustration, those are areas that you need to reevaluate and either determine how you can transform that into joy or figure out a way to let that go. Because you're not meant to live in frustration. You are meant to live a life that is satisfying. That is the point of life.
All right, there you go, Jess. I hope that you get something from this. I know it's a lot. I kind of just free flow with these. I don't always have an exact plan. But yeah, I'd be happy to clarify anything. If you have questions, just, Kristin knows how to get a hold of me. Yeah, I hope that this helps you find some clarity on just how to live a life that is enjoyable, a life that brings you everything that you want to experience. I know that can be scary. I know you've worked really hard to establish a life up until the age of 40, and sometimes stepping into new experiences and new desires scares a lot of people, especially when you have a family, when you have children, when you have a husband or a partner. And the more that you can understand yourself, the more that you can find clarity on what is like the best, perfect, authentic version of you, the more you can embody that, and the more you can explain that to others if you want to explain it. But those that are closest to you in your life, they're gonna start wondering what's up. They're gonna ask questions, and if they truly love you, if they truly want what's best for you, they will also want to learn who the best, authentic, most pure version of you is, and love you through that. So I know it can be scary. Whenever people go through change like this, sometimes you lose friends, sometimes you lose relationships, sometimes people walk out of your life because they just don't know what to do with you. And that's just because you are being a mirror. You are showing them what it is that they would like to do as well. So don't be afraid. Reach out for support, reach out for help. You have Kristin, you can reach out to me, and hopefully this brings you some peace in some way to help you just live a life that is enjoyable. So hope you enjoyed this reading.